Yesterday's video was extremely difficult to portray, and if you guys have never tried to speak in monologue form like I am now, it's hard. And I've said this before, but I gotta give professors credit because talking to yourself essentially, but also with an audience in mind is difficult. Because you don't want to say anything that's just entirely useless. It's a different form of conversation, but conversing nonetheless. And for that reason, I'm trying to get better at it because I genuinely find this enjoyable. It's something that I want to improve at, and I know I'm not quite there yet. And for that reason, I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm thankful that I have the small audience I do that's just willing to accept the fact that I am in development. I am not a final stage product, and quite frankly, I probably never will be. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't try. And for that reason, in today's video, I want to elaborate on what I was talking about yesterday, which is just this general concept that the subconscious is valuable. And to do so, I want to base today's talk around the concept of dreams. And for that reason, I think it's important that you agree with the premise of what I'm about to say, which is that dreams are inherently subconscious in nature. And the reason I believe this is because, quite literally, when we fall asleep, it is a subconscious process. We turn off our consciousness, and this is so the brain can perform many essential functions that I can't speak on because I'm not a neuroscientist. But we all know this intuitively because when we fall asleep, we wake up feeling much better, and that's because of all sorts of things. But essentially, I have to say that at the beginning of this because what I'm going to dive into now are all the things, or at least some of them, that have come as a result of dreams and therefore the subconscious. And I'm speaking mostly on inventions here or great ideas. And let me just run down a quick list. Google, which I find ironic because I Googled this question. The sewing machine, something that I am currently wearing the benefits of. DNA, one of the most fundamental discoveries in science. Einstein's theory of relativity, another fundamental discovery in the realm of physics. Frankenstein, one of the best literary pieces in history. The periodic table, the structure of the atom, and finally, Salvador Dali's persistence of memory, which I had no idea what that was, but when you see the picture, you'll recognize it. So the point I'm making here, and the point that this article is making, is essentially that dreams have had a place across all categories of human creation. Whether it's science, art, or entertainment, it doesn't matter. It seems that our subconscious is actually able to contribute to reality itself. And for this reason, I think it's something that we should listen to. And I'm curious what you guys think about this because my interest right now is how I can pay more attention to this. And I think dreams are a good gateway into this whole realm because it's my understanding that dreams are essentially our subconscious communicating with us. And although it's difficult to understand at times, like I said yesterday, I think it's important that we should at least attempt to do so. And let me give you guys a quick example, which I'm sure you can all relate to, which is just these dreams that seem to make sense in a weird way. They're often very obscure in nature, but I think this takes on a form that we can all understand if I compare it to fiction and nonfiction. So for example, nonfiction, it's obvious. It's based on facts, data, things that you can easily point to and understand, and therefore is obviously relevant to reality. But nonfiction is similar in a different way. But rather than using facts, it uses concepts and general principles. And I think this is likened to the concept of looking at something for the broader picture rather than the details. And a lot of times, it's pretty obvious to me, as I'm sure it is to you, that when you look at something from a higher vantage point, you can actually understand it better than if you get caught in the weeds. And this is something that I'm really fascinated in because I want to understand reality in a way that's applicable and makes sense, but is genuinely as close to reality as possible. And I think the subconscious is a way that I can do that. And in the next few videos, I'm interested in this concept and I want to talk about it. And like I said at the beginning of this, it's very difficult for me to do so, but I'm hoping to get better at this process. And therefore, I'm hoping that in this video I made some sense to you, that I communicated something of interest. That's all I got to say today, guys. I hope this was a good one. I'll catch you tomorrow.